Hi, I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with my series that deals with blues rhythmic phrasing. First, I'll play rhythm exercise in the key of G, number 5, and then I'll break it down for you. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go with rhythm guitar exercise in the key of G, number 5. We have a 12-bar blues that I've divided into 6 2-bar phrases. Each 2-bar phrase will use the exact same rhythm. The rhythm is triplet, triplet, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The lead guitar portion will take up the triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 portion of the phrase, and then we'll come in with the rhythm guitar on and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the lead guitar will be triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can hear how I entered into the rhythm guitar part on the and of 1 in bar 2. Now, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is the rhythm guitar pattern. Notice that it comes from the Chuck Berry, Jimmy Reed style accompaniment that we've seen before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The only difference is we've chopped that first eighth note because our lead guitar ran into that first eighth note. We will repeat the same rhythm for each 2-bar phrase. Now that we've had a look at the rhythm, let's go ahead and talk about the scale that we'll be using for this example. We will only use one scale in this example. This will be the G major pentatonic with the addition of the minor third, which is sometimes referred to as the major blue note. When we add the major blue note or the minor third into our major pentatonic, sometimes the scale is referred to as the major blues scale. Let's look at the pattern that's between the 5th and 8th frets. Here are my roots G. And for those of you who know the cage system, this would be the D pattern for the major pentatonic. Here's the scale. Now let's go on to the first phrase. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The first triplet uses the minor third as a passing tone between the major second and the major third. The next triplet is played on the B string. Then here's 3 and, 4 and then we end on the root G. Then we'll go into our accompaniment pattern, which is that Jimmy Reed style, Chuck Berry style pattern, minus the first eighth note, because we've already used that up for our solo portion of this 2-bar phrase. So it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's phrase 2. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our first triplet uses a hammer-on between the minor third and the major third. Our next triplet continues down the scale. Here's 3 and, 4 and then ending on the root G. And back to our rhythm guitar pattern. Here's phrase 3. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our first triplet is a pull off between 8 and 5 on the B string, ending on 7 on the 3rd string. The next triplet is the same. Then we're going to the high E string, 3 and 4 and 1. On beat 1, we're ending our phrase on the note E. This happens to be the 3rd of the chord that we're currently on here. In this progression, we've changed to the C chord at this point, and the 3rd of a C chord is E. So we've ended on the 3rd of the chord, and then we go over to the C accompaniment pattern. Here's phrase 4. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our first triplet uses the same chromaticism we did earlier. We're going to go chromatically between the major 2nd and the major 3rd. Then we're going to come down the scale using that same passing tone. Here's the next triplet. Continuing on down the scale, 3 and 4 and 1. We end our phrase on G, which is now the root because our chord change is back to a G7th. And we'll be returning to our G comping pattern here. Now let's go on to phrase 5. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're going to start our major pentatonic on the note D. This is partially because we're on a D chord change, so this really helps set up the 5 chord change that we're playing here, which is D7. So our first triplet is, and then our next triplet, 3 and, 4 and, ending again on the root D, and then we will move our accompaniment pattern over to the root D here at the 5th fret. Here's the last phrase. Triplet, triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're going to use that same chromaticism that we've seen before. This time we're doing it an octave lower. So here we'll be playing chromatically from the 2nd of the scale up to the major 3rd of the scale, including that major blue note, which is the flatted 3rd. That's our first triplet. Next we have then 3 and, 4 and then ending on the root G. And we're back to our G chord change here, so we'll be going to the 3rd fret, rooted here on the 6th string G, playing this accompaniment pattern. Well, that's it for rhythm exercise in the key of G, number 5. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.